Murk and rainy is the nicht, the snow is starring o'er the carry, lightnings gleam athwart the lift, and winds drive on wi' winter's fury. Oh, are you sleeping, Maggie? Oh, are you...
Humiliating stories of parent abuse, because my individual stories are not why we're here. It's our collective story that matters tonight.
As coaches, and first of all, we really need on-campus coaches. It's incredibly important for a school to have teachers also coach major programs and some of the other programs. We take the kids' education far more serious. We know the whole child. We know their parents and see them on campus throughout the day. It's very important. And I look around the room and I see some of my old colleagues who are not coaching any longer, and they're tremendous coaches. Okay, so this is something we need to look at. Our lines of communication need to be adhered to. We always hear about, you go to the teacher, speak to the teacher first, speak to the coach first. That doesn't always happen. If parents, sometimes there's not even a face-to-face meeting. If there's conflict, there must be a face-to-face meeting between the two parties. That's just basic conflict resolution 101.
All of my colleagues, everybody in this room really cares about kids and really cares about education. I'm a district parent. I'm a high school English teacher at Monte Vista High School, and I'm the varsity volleyball coach at Monte Vista as well. I'm here tonight. I speak for teachers and coaches who are afraid to come. As a parent, I understand that parents are advocates for their kids, just as teachers are advocates for their students. Parents and teachers are on the same team here. In fact, it is the co-advocacy of the students' best interests that open up learning opportunities for students that exceed what is possible without a cooperative approach.
The student earned a C on the essay. His parent came into my classroom after school, unannounced, and demanded a meeting. While I was able to schedule the meeting for the next day so that I could prepare for it, I was unprepared for the level of vitriol in the conference. His parent yelled at me, questioned my professional integrity, and scoffed at the example of the reflective essay, which earned a higher grade than his son's. After he demanded that I allow his son to rewrite the paper, I was forced to change my practice for the class, and then had to allow all students to rewrite their papers. The issue is not that I changed my practice, but rather that the parent bullied me into doing so. If the school board revised its complaint policy to include language stating that parents will address their complaints to the teacher in a respectful, professional manner, equanimity would govern the complaint process, rather than fear and intimidation. Respectful and professional, meaning courteous and informed. The board needs to empower the district office administrators to implement such a change in policy and to further support teachers in this area. All of our students benefit when they have teachers who feel confident rather than cowed. If a teacher knows that the parents of his or her students will be respectful in the complaint process, as
There is no reason parents and teachers should be in opposition. However, many parent emails are becoming so adversarial that this relationship is evolving into a nightmare. Imagine checking email first thing in the morning and reading the following edited for G content emails. I was warned about how bad a teacher you are, but you are actually worse than the reports. Do you really have a college degree? Did you wear the same clothes to school 2 days in a row? Anybody can be a teacher, but you seem unable to do the job. If you don't change this grade, we are going to sue you. If you cut my kid, I'm going to make you regret ever taking this job. The final
Justice has occurred, and it did not happen in a silo. Many of us here have experienced the heat of aggressive parents, be it through anonymous complaint or outright attacks. And while some of us have benefited from supportive administrators who have done their due diligence, others haven't been so fortunate. And as we have seen, if the threats and complaints don't get done, or don't get the job done at the site level, just take it further. It is my hope that there will be a renewed discussion and change in policy so that all of us here feel protected, so that we once again feel valued. Please hear our stories. And if somehow any of us have touched you tonight, let it not be in vain. Thank you.
That the threatening voice of a few should not speak for the whole population of parents. We have wonderful parents here. Don't get me wrong. I love my parents. I feel their support all the time. But when we're being attacked and the angry voice of a few are driving your decisions, that attacks my pride, my integrity, my character, and my profession. We are known as a destination school district now. What an honor. How are we going to uphold that? By making teachers feel safe, make us feel valued, so that we can show that we do have pride in our job. We can show we have self-respect. We can show that we deserve the self-respect, and that you do value our hard work and our dedication. And you do understand when your decisions go against us, it's the damage to me and what's in here. So please take that into consideration. You have wonderful, dedicated teachers here. Show us that you take that into consideration and you
Our children are bright and they see things for what they really are. Here are the 6 things I think they learned throughout this ordeal. If you don't like what's being done or how a situation is being handled, it's acceptable to make anonymous accusations. If the first accusation doesn't get the desired result, make a second or third until you get the response you desire. In my opinion, unless an accusation involves the safety of a student and/or a possible molestation issue, the district should let parents know that anonymous accusations will not be tolerated. Number 2, don't worry if after an investigation by the appropriate authority, your accusation is found to be without merit. Just appeal to the next level of management and accuse the people that did the initial investigating of being biased and protecting their own staff. As long as management doesn't have a backbone, you can keep this up until you get your desired result. Number 3, innocent until proven guilty doesn't apply within the San Ramon Valley Unified School District. It's very ironic that these 3 points go against what we learned in civics class. All our children must take a semester of American government, and in that class they learn a defendant gets to meet his or her accuser face to face. When a judgment is appealed, it only gets reheard if there is evidence that something was done wrong and not because the person doesn't like the outcome. And just because someone is accused of a crime, it doesn't mean they are guilty. I'm not sure, but if anyone at the district office needs a refresher course in these areas, I think Bob...
What matters is that as a district, we're struggling to keep excellent, qualified coaches on our rosters. And I can't help but ask why. Why can't men and women who love their sport sustain a coaching career in our district? From my perspective, the issue is twofold: stipends and support. As far as stipends go, when was the last time coaches got a raise? Saying. I was paying my cheer coaches anywhere from $1,600 to $2,500 to coach July through March. It's a 2-season sport and we get paid for 1 season, which may have worked back in the days of poodle skirts and saddle shoes, but that's not our reality today. Coaches love coaching, but many of us do need the extra pay. To us, it's a win-win. We get to coach a sport we love with amazing kids, and we get to make a little extra money to help supplement our career. I'm certain that if coaches got the raise they deserve and cheer coaches got paid for 2 seasons, we could help sustain our coaches' careers. As far as support goes, you've heard the stories. And while I do think cheer parents are in a league of their own, in general, I have to ask what we are doing as a district to educate our parents about proper methods of communication and behavior towards teachers and coaches. Teachers coaches go through extensive training on how to prevent hazing, bullying, etc. in order to be able to teach and coach. We know the signs of bullying because we've been taught to recognize it, and we can recognize when we ourselves are being bullied. We know it firsthand. So here's my request. I just would like to request that while we'd all love a raise, and I do think it's one small way we can help sustain our coaching staff, I'd sacrifice it in a heartbeat to know that our district is willing to step up and educate the parents about how to support the coaches, not bully, berate, or abuse them. And if parents can't get on board with this, then let's have a uniform district-wide policy that we can enforce even when a parent threatens a lawsuit or to call the press. I must say, in my experience, I was always supported at the site level. John Rayner should be a saint. It's when parents took things to the district level that things fell apart. This shouldn't be a discrepancy, but we can fix it, so let's fix it. The bottom line is we are a phenomenal district with amazing kids and coaches, but we need to be better, and we can be better. Let's tackle the issue now before anything worse happens. Thank you very much.
Two remarks clearly violate Board Policy 5145.3A, which states the board prohibits intimidation or harassment of any student by any employee, student, or other person in the district. Oh, actually, the policy only works one way. It protects the student. This has to change. The final. Why don't we simply add another sentence? It could read, the board prohibits intimidation or harassment of any employee by any student or parent. It's very simple edit. Without this addition, I contend we are in violation of Board Policy 4145.7, which states it is the policy of the governing board of the San Ramon Unified School District to provide an educational and work environment free of communications constituting harassment. In addition, this policy forbids making derogatory comments, including epithets, slurs, and degrading words used to describe an individual, and spreading rumors. How much vitriol can a young teacher take from a parent, or should she be exposed to via email in the first place? When a teacher's focus becomes diverted by recurring email beatdowns or interrogations, she no longer has the real freedom to advocate for the student and begins effectively, though unwittingly, advocating for a parent's happiness. When this shift has occurred with younger or even experienced teachers, the educational system has drifted pretty far away from its real mission. Shift happens.
We know this is not an isolated situation that happens only in San Ramon. It is not that is not true. We do know that we need to stand together and build relationships with our community so that we can continue to do what we do best, lighting the fire in our students' minds. Please don't look at us as complainers this evening, but as collaborators. We are the instruments that build the foundation of tomorrow. We are the doers. We are the ones that will work for you, that will work harder than anyone in this community to make sure that our schools are well funded and that we have the ability to do what we do best, teach. I believe that now is the time to work together with our members and to establish clear guidelines for all of the stakeholders in our community, enforcing your policy that is not only updated to meet the needs of our changing times, but more inclusive of our members so that we as educators feel safe in our schools and respected by the community, free from the shackles of unwarranted complaints.